Good. So for this exercise, this is this vivid vision exercise that I talked about before. And like I said, I'm just going to walk you through a guided visualization. And you don't actually have to do anything for now. Like you literally just have to be present. Going back to that point, it's another opportunity to kind of build your muscles about presence. And in order to do so, I mean, I'm going to let you imagine you're in a nice place like this. Like really take whatever you need to do to get really comfortable. You can switch off your cameras if you want to, but make sure both feet are flat on the floor. So you can stand or you can sit in your chair. I highly recommend you do not lean back in your chair because you might get too tired and sleepy, but just kind of, upright back, but not rigid. Like make sure you're comfortable. So get yourself comfortable. And if you want to take a break from the headphones, for example, if they're uncomfortable, you're welcome to do that. Um, Shift around, but by all means, really close down anything that might distract you, because this is the chance to really fully immerse yourself in the exercise. Yeah. So getting comfortable, and I'm also going to sit down and make sure I don't have any like pen or paper in my hands. And just if you're comfortable closing your eyes, that's great. If you prefer not to, you can also just kind of have a soft focus or maybe looking out the window, but just don't focus on the screen. Give your eyes a break from the screen for this exercise. And just start by taking a couple of like a deep breath in and then a sigh out. So give yourself a chance to do that. And maybe even rolling your shoulders a little bit, getting into your body, remembering that you have a body down there. It's not just a tripod for your head. Relax, roll your shoulders, maybe wiggle your fingers and your toes. If you want to roll your neck a little, whatever it takes to kind of let go of any stress or strain or tension that you might be holding. And when you've gotten really, comfortable and let go of any tension, just start to focus on your breath. Breathing in and out through your nose, really naturally, not excessively deep or shallow, just really natural breathing. And as you continue that breathing, now you can just stretch out the exhales a little bit so that your exhales are slightly longer than your inhales. Just breathe like that at your own pace for a while, and I'll come back to get you in a minute. And you may have some thoughts crowding into your mind. And whenever a thought arrives, just notice it and send it on its way. Let it pass by, just like a cloud passing through your mind. It's no problem at all. Just notice the thought and then say, oh, no, I can think about that later. I'm going to go back to my breathing. Feeling the air coming in through your nose and the warmer air coming out. And just as you're breathing, start to relax the muscles in your forehead. Really make sure that you're not holding any tension in your forehead. and the small muscles around your eyes. I like to give my cheeks a little tap to relax those muscles because they're so used to being strained. Make sure your cheeks are relaxed, your jaw nice and relaxed, even the muscles around your ears. And very importantly, make sure that your tongue is relaxed and just resting in the bottom of your mouth. And you'll find that if you had any chatter going on in your mind, when you can really relax your eyes and relax your tongue, it's like a magic wand that turns off that inner chatter. Just to picture yourself now as if you're sitting in front of a lake, much like the lake you saw in the picture before. And it's very calm and beautiful. And you have some pebbles around you. And you just take one pebble and toss it out into the water. And you can just watch how that pebble makes ripples. And the ripples slowly, slowly move out toward the edge of the water. And maybe you take a second pebble and toss it in the water. And enjoy watching those ripples move out, knowing that for once in your life, you don't have to do anything else. This is all you have to do right now. It's just be. And really enjoy that. And just keep going, tossing pebbles, and imagine those ripples that you're watching flow out in the water, almost like tossing a pebble in your body and letting the ripples of relaxation really spread throughout your body. And just enjoy that quiet. And if there happens to be any sounds around you, just allow them to remind you of how nice it is to be in the peace and quiet of your inner mind. So from this place of relaxation, I'm going to invite you to transport yourself 1 year from today, February 24th, 2026. And you're in your same role, in your same building. And this is the future, most positive future situation 1 year from today with your team. It has been an extraordinary year. You've been given the resources you need. You've been able to have an impact that you didn't expect. And your team is collaborating in a way that has unleashed so many opportunities that you didn't foresee. So I'm going to invite you to imagine walking into that office and meeting and greeting your team and asking them about their favorite highlights from the year. What happened over this last year in this team that has them so excited and so charged up? Ask them as well, as long as you're having the conversation, what made this possible? What was it also from your leadership that made this year so great? Get their feedback. Ask them also, what was it that you didn't do that was really helpful? And just as you guys are enjoying this conversation together, you happen to hear that just down the hall or on the next floor, your boss and his team are celebrating. They've also had a fantastic year, and they're just taking a few moments to do a bit of a retro on the year. And so you and the team decide to tiptoe up the hall and go to their office and take a little listen. You know, you could eavesdrop a little bit about what they're talking about. What kinds of things were really great for your boss's team last year? What were their successes and the standout activities and events and circumstances that really helped them? Take a minute to listen. You hear a lot of new information, things that you didn't really think about that would be so important for them. And just then, your boss and his team notice you guys huddled out in the hallway and welcome you. They wave you in. They say, "Hey guys, what are you doing out there? Come on in. We want to thank you." Turns out they're really appreciative of you because a lot of their success came from your team's work last year. What are they thanking you for? What are they most appreciative about? You may never have heard your boss be so positive. There might have been some magic dust that made this possible. But he or she really noticed you, your work, your team's work. What kind of things were most helpful to your boss? What was possible for them because your team exists? So everyone is in a good mood and good spirits, and they decide to walk down the hall together to the closest break area and get a little snack or a coffee and continue the talk. And just when you arrive there, you find your boss's boss and his key people, and they're celebrating. They've also had a fantastic year. There's been some, good circumstances and maybe a little bit of luck and some magic dust that made it possible to have just a fantastic, ideal year. And they say, hey, I'm so glad you guys are here. We had some specific wins that would not have been possible if it weren't for your boss's team and for your team. Let's hear what they have to say. What kind of contribution from your team impacted your boss's boss and his or her team? What are they really appreciative of? So you and your team are just soaking this up. You can hardly believe that your actions were noticed and appreciated this much. So after a while, you and the team decide to go back to your original room where you started this conversation and just go back and have a look at those goals that you set last year. Like, what was it that you decided to do last year that turned out well? And what were the other things that happened that you didn't even plan on doing that turned out to be goals that you exceeded, even if they didn't exist? Head back there and look on the wall and just look at the goals you guys set as a team. See what you can see. Might be a bit fuzzy, but just see if anything comes out if you give yourself a little time. Making sure you're still comfortable in your seat with your eyes relaxed, your tongue relaxed. Really imagine yourself 1 year from now looking back on your goals and see what's there. You take one last look around. Notice anything that you want to remember from this. And take a few deep breaths again and start wiggling your fingers and your toes. And maybe roll your shoulders and start coming back to the present day, February 24th, 2025, in our nice little training here today.